Welcome to Federal Benefits Eagle Training LLC Plus. I'm Robin, your host, and I am honored to share my journey with you today. As a proud Department of Defense federal retiree and a federal benefits instructor, I've dedicated over 25 years to serving our nation through federal employment. This experience has not only been a job for me, it has been a privilege that has provided me with deep sense of security through comprehensive benefits, including health insurance and a pension, luxuries that are increasingly rare in the private sector. There's only a small percentage of the private sector companies that even still do pensions anymore. So I felt very privileged. During my career, I never had to worry about layoffs or job insecurity. The federal workforce afforded me countless opportunities for personal and professional growth. I was able to earn both my bachelor's and my master's degree while serving the public, and I truly cherished being part of an organization that nurtured advancement and development. It is crucial for us to recognize the significance of federal employment and the potential consequences of dismantling our government. The loss of these structures would not only impact current employees, but would also diminish the quality of services provided to the public. We must advocate for preservation of federal employment as it serves as a cornerstone for stability and opportunity in our society. For over 20 years, I have traveled across the United States and internationally to train federal employees, empowering them to make informed decisions on their career paths into retirement. I foster an engaging, interactive learning environment where participants are encouraged to ask questions, share experiences, and participate in discussions. You know, this collaborative approach enhances understanding and retention of complex benefit information. As I embark on this first podcast episode, so hang in there with me, I know that some of you may not agree with everything I have to say, while others may share my concerns. Many of you might even be uncertain about how to feel right now, or you may be seeking clarity in the current state of our country. So I invite you to stay with me as I unpack some important things that I want to share. This podcast transcends party lines, whether you identify as a Democrat, a Republican, or belong to a third party or no party at all. We can all agree that the rapid changes we are witnessing are impacting all working class citizens. Many people feel blindsided by these developments as if they have been, well, politically sucker punched. Let's begin with a thought-provoking question. What are political diversions? These occur when politicians focus public attention on emotionally charged issues like immigration or border security, which are important. But while doing that, while diverting attention from more significant matters, such as cuts to federal jobs and social programs. In this climate, we often become laser focused on one topic. We do. While behind the scenes, plans are being orchestrated that we may not fully understand. It's essential to recognize that we may never know the entirety of these discussions, but I'm sorry, but when it comes to dismantling federal departments, we must pay attention. This situation has been brewing for years, and many good citizens feel played. Now, we would not vote someone into office if we knew it would cost our jobs. The mockery and disrespect displayed in this process, like seeing individuals celebrate job cuts, are nothing short of appalling. People are losing their jobs and being forced into hasty decisions without adequate knowledge. The recent actions taken in the private sector, such as those by Elon Musk at Twitter, which is now X, are alarming. Federal employees are being subjected to an atmosphere of intimidation and fear, which undermines the very foundation of our public service. And as it should be in the private sector as well. Should not be taking place like this. Accountability is vital, but it must be balanced with a work environment built on trust and mutual respect, right? The current approach risks damaging workplace culture and overall efficiencies, both in the public and private sectors. Now, Let's be clear. This is unacceptable. Imagine being in a position where your job is at risk while others are celebrating your misfortune. If you had known about impending layoffs and fires and, being fired, would you have made the same choices? I think not. My sentiments reflect frustration and a sense of betrayal regarding the political process and the decisions that have been made. Hidden agendas can lead to significant changes that adversely affect people's jobs and livelihoods, leading to disillusionment with the political system. Transparency and accountability in politics are essential. Voters deserve clarity about candidates, policies, and their potential consequences. When that clarity is lacking, it breeds confusion and disappointment among citizens, and rightfully so. Now, in recent weeks, I've heard from many who are scared about their futures and the direction of our country. They are worried about how to provide for their families and what their career paths will look like. Many people do not fully understand the role of the federal departments and agencies and how their dismantling will affect our nation. Understanding these functions is crucial, especially in times like this of uncertainty. Let's take a moment. Please, let's take a moment to let me highlight a few key departments. Okay, just hang in there with me. Department of Agriculture, USDA, oversees farming, forestry, and food safety. Dismantling this agency will lead to improper land use and disrupt agricultural exports. Department of Commerce promotes economic growth and job creation, handling trade and technology. Excuse me. Department of Defense, DOD, responsible for national security and military operations. Department of Education ensures equal access to education and establishes guidelines for educational standards. Without federal oversight, disparities in educational quality will worsen. Department of Energy, DOE, focuses on energy production regulations and nuclear safety. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, oversees public health and welfare programs, including the CDC, FDA. Department of Homeland Security, DHS, protects the nation from threats, including terrorism and natural disasters. We have been through this many, many times. We need protection. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, focuses on national housing policy and urban development. Department of the Interior manages national parks and public lands. Department of Justice, DOJ, enforces federal laws and ensures fair administration of justice. Department of Labor, DOL, protects workers' rights and improves working conditions. Department of State manages foreign affairs and diplomacy. Department of Transportation, DOT, oversees transportation systems for safe movements of people and goods. Department of the Treasury manages federal finances and economic policy. Department of Veteran Affairs, VA, provides services and support to military veterans. Let me talk about the Office of Personnel Management, OPM. They play a crucial role in overseeing federal hiring and human resources functions, while the Merit System Protection Board, MSPB, ensures fair employment practices. The Federal Labor Relations Authority, FLRA, protects the rights of federal employees to organize and engage in collective bargaining. Now, these agencies are not mere bureaucratic entities. They are the backbone of our government's functionality. Absolutely. I'm sorry, but the lack of respect for these agencies and their work raises serious concerns about the future of public service and the integrity of our workforce. I am deeply troubled by the disruptive actions of individuals from tech companies who lack an understanding of how these agencies operate. It's like handing scalpels to librarians and expecting them to perform surgery. Is this what we want? Decisions affecting the federal workforce should not be made by those without a vested interest in the consequences. An unwavering understanding of these departments and their commitments is essential to grasp how dismantling them will impact society, from national security to public health and education. I have heard some people said they voted for these changes, but I struggle to believe that anyone would willingly support actions that, well, that jeopardize their own jobs or livelihoods, or those jobs of their families and friends. Now, let me say that many may not fully grasp the implications of what is unfolding, either because they are insulated from its effects or lack of understanding of the critical roles these departments play. The emotional and practical consequences of dismantling federal agencies can be overlooked by those who feel detached from the immediate impacts. Yet, the services provided by these agencies are vital to countless Americans, and their dismantling and reductions will have far-reaching repercussions. Just know that. There are voices out there saying federal employees do not deserve their jobs. But as I've outlined, these departments are essential to our society. Let's stand firmly against chaos. There are individuals and groups out there known as provocateurs, disruptors, and chaos agents. This is their modus operandi, and it's simply how they operate. We must not be allowed to let ourselves get caught up in their turmoil. We don't need it, and it's not welcome here. I'm sorry, that was my phone. People are calling. It's not welcomed here. The vast majority of people in this country aspire to lead healthy, productive lives, to enjoy time with friends and family, and to foster positive and better relationship with others. Remember, we never know where our support might come from or who we may need help from. So let's choose to uplift one another. Together, we can create a community rooted in kindness and understanding. Now, are there always going to be issues? Absolutely. Absolutely. Let us all commit to working towards building a stronger future together. We can achieve so much more when we unite. Can we do this? Can we try to do this? Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Get ready. I'm just warning you now. Get ready for episode 2. You won't want to miss it. Let me close by saying, remember, stand for something or you'll fall for anything.